mentioned that we have increased our engagement with the DIPP and specifically on the copyright aspect. And today afternoon also the Joint Secretary Mr. Rajiv Agarwal is going to be here, and he's going to be chairing the session and discussing about the various aspects of copyright, and specifically to the publishing sector. On another note, few days back, I read a news item in one of the leading dailies, and which mentioned cops taking comics route to curb crime. I immediately reached out to Mr. Pathak. I said, sir, I read about this in the newspaper. What is this all about? So he mentioned that no, we are actually trying an alternate route and looking at some unconventional ways to curbing crime and doing policing and all. And in that respect, we are looking out for partnership with publishers. And I immediately, took it as an opportunity and invited him for this particular program. And he was kind enough, immediately agreed. And that's and thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And with that note, may I request you to share your perspective and vision, and how do you intend to take this forward?
Friends, I feel that engaging publishers in social orderliness will be a new initiative. And this idea came to me, so that is how we have initiated discussion on way out, how to involve publishers, how to involve certain creative material to engage young mind, which goes a long way in maintaining a better social orderliness. Before coming to this, apart from the social orderliness, the young mind need to be bombarded with so many things the human civilization has seen in the last 5,000 years. We are in the golden era of human civilization. Whatever we might be reading here and there in the form of certain negative perception, but the equal opportunity to become unequal is at its best. The scientific development is at its zenith. The modern science is moving from the Einsteinian theory that the law of physics works differently while on a stationary object and on moving object, which was a paradigm shift from the Newtonian physics. So from Einsteinian physics to the present day quantum entanglement via Big Bang theory of George Lemaitre, we are moving into a new era, which is challenging that the highest speed may not be the speed of light. The experiments are on, certain successes have also come to the scientists. So we are in it is the emerging age of quantum computers, and certainly artificial intelligence and so on and so forth. But friends, all this has come not suddenly. The human civilization has seen various facets. Almost more than 5,000 wars are known in the human history. to our young mind or youth, not only know, have some sense on it. Who will do it? We need to make aware to our youth who is going to steer the country, steer the society, steer the world, how to do it. Certainly my idea started with how to do better traffic policing and how to bombard ideas, how to create new ways and means such that it attracts young mind, it attracts people, and as a result, he gets little aware about the traffic rules, safety tips, so on and so forth. But finding this opportunity of such a august gathering of publishers, I feel like talking little wider, at a little wider canvas. Because as a police officer since last 4 years, I have been visiting schools after schools they call. There I go and talk to the students. And in every school, even yesterday I had been to one school where I tried to infuse this little spark, and I request the teachers and the management there that create some small syllabus, not syllabus, create some small leaflet or some kind of module and half an hour or 1 hour, that kind of interaction with the students, giving them a brief insight, a broad contour that how we have come the stage we are enjoying the development of science and technology on the one hand, and also on the scientific management of web of human relationship. The social sciences, the psychology, the sociology, it is also developed. It has become almost a science, clinical psychology, clinical sociology. And we need to have a hand-holding such that whatever the problems we are narrating, facing, everybody is saying, it can be better managed, solved. Like even for example, environmental problem, pollution. The science is capable of handling this. This is one. Social science is capable of handling. Every day we get to know, and in police, we get to know to the bottom of society, the bottom of the puckered web of relationship which leads to incidences like depression, like suicides, like crime. Famous French sociologist Emile Durkheim said the crime is normal. It is not pathological. It is realization of society. So friends, publishers, all the publishers are here. Before I come to the focused Delhi police interest in maintaining social orderliness and what all I want, and in what way little contribution can improve and can lead us to a different paradigm of crime criminal containment and a better traffic management and better safety on roads. Little emphasis that this also perhaps needs some FICCI, and FICCI can have some kind of committee which can work along with the publishers and can have some small leaflets on this, which perhaps is lacking in our country. That is because once every child, every growing child, rather every individual should, what three things he should know. One is that the scientific developments, how it has started. From Galileo Galilei to Newton, to Einstein, to all these quantum mechanics, Fermi, Dirac and all, to Big Bang, and to the present day emerging quantum entanglement. The Large Hadron Collider experiment which has happened in the CERN, that it has not come in one day, how it has graduated, how the computers came into existence. One is the brief idea on all these scientific development has taken place, and certain idea, like as for example, I remember when I was a student, this thing never came emphatically that Newtonian physics, what Newton said, that the law of physics applies similarly on a stationary object as well as a moving object. This was the fundamental, which was challenged by Einstein. He said that the law of physics applies differently on a stationary object and on a moving object. When the moving object is at a very high speed, maybe almost touching the speed of light, but it changed the entire perception that how gravity works. Newton said that suppose sun vanishes suddenly, then what will happen? Earth will go into a trajectory immediately. Einstein said no, because nothing can move more than the speed of light. So it will take 7.7 to 8 minutes. After that only this earth will go in the trajectory. Now again the quantum entanglement with the new theory is coming. It says that something moves even faster than light. So meaning thereby that some work on this and a brief idea to our growing mind that the science what you are enjoying today has not come suddenly. And when I say science, natural science, it also has a little history to it, like as a small story of Galileo Galilei. But Galileo was the one from where the Protestant ethics started, and he said, what he do in Pisa? He just challenged the biblical science, and he just took one heavier stone and one lighter and just allowed both to fall, and both fell simultaneously. On this he was sentenced to death, and there was a period that if he goes and if he requests for mercy, then the church will allow him to go away. So finally, last day, entire city was watching him. He came out of house, goes to church. He says, I am a madman. I keep doing these kind of experiment, because experimentation was symbol of slavery at that point of time. So I keep doing this. So please forgive me. Priest said, okay, yes, now you are free. He comes out, and this is the famous statement which brought experimentation and the modern science. He comes out and everybody asks, what happened? He says, I did this experiment, church sentenced me, now I came today, I said, I requested that please forgive me, I am a madman, I keep doing this, but whatever I say and whatever I do in nature, heavier and the lighter objects fall together. And the science got separated from church, and the modern science and the experimentation and what we are enjoying today came into it. This is one story. This need to be told to younger generation, to have a little sense that what we are, even the thoughts, the development of thoughts have not come in one day. This is one aspect. Similarly, the other, Socrates gulping hemlock, forced. So Socrates, at one point of time, the Pericles democracy was there, and he was critical of the Athens democracy, and on certain things. One story says that one of the prince or the king, it was an oligarchy. So he had gone to Sparta, and had eloped along with the queen of Sparta. So Sparta was attacking Athens. At that point of time, Socrates existed. He was very, very critical of the king. So he was sentenced to death, and there was a period of maybe 3 to 4 months. And Plato, who was the son or the child of one of the oligarchic king, so he used to like him, and he comes and discusses, you please go out of the geographical boundary of Athens, so the state will forgive you. He said no, and almost 3, 4 months or 5 months, whatever was the period, this discussion was on, and finally he said, if I succumb, then the humanity will not change, even the republic and all. So finally he was forced to gulp hemlock the poison, and he died, and there was a transformation in Plato, and Plato moves from Athens to Macedonia, and there he, in a place called Academus, and started academy, on which the word academy is there worldwide. And the first book, the apology, whatever the discussion he had with Socrates. So what I mean that, so that is how, and that became the Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and later on maybe the dark period in history, historians they know. And when the Roman Empire attacked and captured, and so, but when the Renaissance started almost out of 1000 or 1100 years, the same thought finally developed into the democracy, the equal opportunity to become an equal what we are today. And that has also seen not a series of thinkers, right from Descartes to John Paul Sartre, to pragmatism, skepticism, and so everything, empiricism. So the Enlightenment, the Renaissance. What I mean that the integrated concept on how the way socially, politically we exist, how it has emerged, and similarly science, how the science has emerged. So someone will tell. There has to have a small, maybe some audio visual, maybe some GIF, or maybe something to tell our youngsters, not only youngsters, even because I remember I happened to raise one battalion in police, and I went there in one of the premium academy and went to the principal because my boys were doing training. So something was coming regarding some shootout at TV, and he said that, oh, they all must be killed and wiped out from India. So then I mentioned about what will happen to the modern law. So then what will happen to the modern law is restitutive. Modern law is corrective. This sense immediately says, oh, let us have a lecture. And then I spoke to everyone, all the officers. So many people said that, okay, I have served since last 20, 30 years, 35 years. But this sense that modern law is restitutive, is corrective, and punishment, except capital punishment, all punishments are corrective. So it is a misnomer. It is a corrective law. So what I mean that who will that? After all these in some form or the other, it has to go to the minds, to the people. Particularly I am interested more to the growing child and also to youth. Publishers has a big role in engaging youth this way. So science, Western thought, and similarly Eastern thought. India, we have a great history of development of knowledge, because as a child I used to think that why so many gods, how it came in such a way, which at a very later stage could realize. You see, almost the Nyaya philosophy, the Nyaya darshan is almost maybe 4,000, 5,000 years old, or maybe little less. But the fundamentals that to know the nature of reality, there is 4 ways. That is perception, inference, comparison, and testimony. You see, today in the modern law, how similar it is. From at the time of Nyaya Darshan, there was no concept of God in India. But yes, all these, they believed in the supremacy of Vedas, that there is one supreme soul. Sa ekaki narene eko aham bahushyam. That the thought which came in that universal God or soul to become many from one, the exemplification of this thought is the universe. That's how the universe came into existence. So from there to Vaisheshik, which is the atom and the void. The nature of reality and the nature is made of atom and the void. So after that, the Purva Mimamsa, the liturgy and the rituals, what we do in marriages, in deaths, in the birth, and till Purva Mimamsa, no God. Then the Kapil Sankhya Darshan, matter and spirit, then Patanjali Yoga, and then the Vedanta of 3 types, Dvait, Visishta Dvait, and Advait. So there the Shankaracharya said that the 2 Nirgun Brahm and Sagun Brahm. And Sagun Brahm, so that explains so many gods for particular purpose. So, and simultaneously the Buddhism, Jainism and the Charvak Lokaya Darshan. What I mean that on these, how the thought processes have developed, how rich we are. On these at least 3 streams, in various small booklets, or in some way, the ways and means we have to say, the information need to go. The concepts need to go. Apart from whatever the engineering, whatever medical sciences, whatever studies we are doing, apart from that, this, now either we inculcate this by way of comics or by way of some kind of cartoon, or by way of some kind of making these days the social media. And it is a great medium. Today is why I say golden era, that you can disseminate anything and everything in flip of a second, worldwide. So we need to work on this to what Mr. Jha was mentioning, knowledge economy.